I think it's important for us to understand that the Fast and Furious program was a field-initiated program begun under the previous administration. When Eric Holder found out about it, he discontinued it. Eric Holder has my complete confidence because he has shown himself to be willing to hold accountable those who took these actions.
The president in the hot seat now once again over Fast and Furious, that gun-running operation, this time making a false claim that it started under the Bush administration, and he's still defending Attorney General Eric Holder.
Joining us now is Republican Congressman from South Carolina, Trey Gowdy. Congressman, nice to see you this morning.
Good morning.
I want to read you the White House statement on all of this, on the president's remarks that we just played the video of. This president was referring to the flawed tactic of gun walking, which, despite Republicans' efforts to politicize this issue, began under the previous administration, and it was our Attorney General who ended it. Are we getting into semantic territory here, or does the White House have a point?
No, I think the president needs to be cross-examined a little more seriously. He was dead wrong to Univision on both counts. I don't care what political party started the tactic of gun walking. It was wrong. And to say Eric Holder ended it, he was the last person in America, in my opinion, to know that what was happening in his own Department of Justice. So he waited until 2011 to stop the tactic of gun walking. People in his department knew it was going on for 18 months. So he was wrong about when it started. He was wrong about how Eric Holder ended it. And to say that Eric Holder has been vindicated, how would you like to be the top of a law firm that was the target and the subject of a scathing IG report that we read last week? So look, this is the same president that blames a tsunami for our economic woes. So I'm not surprised what comes out of his mouth. I'm surprised nobody challenges him with more firm and vigor.
Well, that's what we're talking about today, because the president is criticized a lot for blaming the Bush administration and saying that the Bush administration started Fast and Furious, when really, if you look at the facts, Fast and Furious started 9 months into Barack Obama's administration. And then I watched some of the clips from Attorney General Eric Holder talking to Congress, and he even says that Wide Receiver started, which was a similar gun walking program, started with President Bush, but he does say in front of Congress that President Obama started Fast and Furious. So where's the disconnect? Why is President Obama saying this started with the Bush administration when it clearly did not?
Because he can get away with it, but because he can blame what's happening in northern Africa on a YouTube video and nobody challenges him. He's dead wrong. Fast and Furious started under his watch. His criminal division chief, Lanny Brewer, was asleep at the switch. His Department of Justice didn't review the wiretap applications.
Do you think, Trey,
I guess the mantra is I'm going to continue to say things that are demonstrably false until somebody challenges me, and then I'll issue a retraction, which seems to be
So you think it was intentional? He didn't just misspeak?
Does it matter? I mean, it doesn't matter to me. He's wrong, and he's wrong in public with people that are listening, and he's falsely defending his administration. What his intent is in misleading people, I'm not smart enough to deign, but he's wrong.
What about the slain border agent Brian Terry, his family, and how they should respond to this? They've been asking for the Department of Justice to be held accountable. Do you think the investigation and its wrap-up this week is sufficient for the family?
Well, I don't think it's wrapped up. We're still entitled to documents that we haven't gotten, and we're going to court to get them. And Brian Terry's family deserves a lot of credit for pushing Congress. It depends on what reforms come out of this, but the ultimate reform that I want to see is a Department of Justice that's not politicized. I'm tired of political hacks being in positions of prosecutorial responsibility, and that's across the board. I don't care which administration's in power. The Department of Justice is too important to this republic to have political cronies and hacks in place.
All right, Congressman Gowdy from the great state of South Carolina. How about those Gamecocks?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks so much.
Yes, ma'am. I loved it.
I know, it's a good game. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Congressman.
Yes, ma'am.